Welcome to the first ever Real Estate Summer Series podcast brought to you by Gramercy Real Estate Group. My name is Blanca, and I have the pleasure of sitting here with Dustin Lauer, who is the president of FidusFi, a private lending company. So Dustin, as you know, we manage one of the largest real estate groups on Facebook called Act 2022 Puerto Rico Real Estate Guide. We have a lot of our members who have many questions and want to learn more about private lending in Puerto Rico. So I'm going to start by asking you, what are the differences between private lending and a traditional lender?
Excellent. And Blanca, thank you so much for having me on this. This is great. Really like a traditional lender and a private lender are different how they're capitalized. The traditional lenders in the market, they're quasi-government entities, banks, and in Puerto Rico, they can be co-ops as well. And they're financing based on their guidelines, really related to what the guarantor can qualify for. And the private lender is more concerned with how much cash flow the deal is going to bring, how the deal is going to make profit, and the experience of the entrepreneur behind the scene. So the sponsor is important to the private lender, and the guarantor is important to the institution.
Okay, good to know. What type of loan programs are you offering here in Puerto Rico?
So we're really the same as like doing stateside loans in the United States. We're in 20 states there, and then also Puerto Rico, but we have only our short-term programs available here. So in the short-term loans, we're looking for improvement projects where they're either going to be full ground-up construction or somebody that's going to purchase, renovate, and then either refinance or resell a property for profit.
I see. Okay. What are some of the advantages that you'd say would be working with you guys here, and what's your history in mainland U.S.?
So a lender that's a private lender or balance sheet lender, the advantages are that they can go quicker and do a transaction quickly and underwrite the deal based on the mechanics of the transaction. And advantages of working with us is really our partners here on the island, Mikel and Margarita, who have a lot of experience. They know the laws, they know the land. We also work with great real estate professionals that know the market. So working with us, you're working with an experienced team, not so much myself in Puerto Rico, but our partners. And in the mainland U.S., we're the largest lender in Central Florida for private loans, but we also are active in other states, and our history there has been pretty spotless, like loan performance for our investors, but mostly a lot of new construction. So that's really our background.
That's good, because there's a lot of new construction happening now in Puerto Rico too. It's a good time. Is there a difference in requirements and regulations between lending in Puerto Rico and the U.S.? Anything else that you haven't mentioned? Something to keep in mind?
So, the licensure here, just like every state, you have to get a license to do business in most of them. Puerto Rico has its own requirements for us to be a commercial lender. And 15 months later, we were able to accomplish that through the process. But the difference really is that the long-term programs aren't necessarily available with the renovation component. So that's probably the big difference, like regulatory hurdle. But once you have the property stabilized and you've got rent coming in, then at that point you can go to the banks and institutions to get the long-term loans.
Good to know. And then in regards to real estate investing, what do you see are the main areas of opportunity here in Puerto Rico?
Well, Puerto Rico has lots of geographic areas that have great opportunity, and in certain market segments that for better words, lend itself to. Hospitality is humongous here. Short-term vacation rentals are big, but there's also opportunities in mixed-use commercial, logistics, shared office space, and so we're trying to finance a variety of asset class here and just support improvement of projects here. We think, if you're Act 2022 resident, you might look into areas where you're comfortable being, that you, not necessarily that you would live there, but that you would be comfortable there day and night, and that's an area that you like for getting your feet wet. But it's also important that you have the right vendors and contractors in those areas to make the improvements to the property. So, but there's so much opportunity in Puerto Rico. We think there's, it's really a lot of money moving here, and we think it's excellent.
That's great. Thanks again for your time, Dustin. I'm sure that we have a lot of members who will want to contact you and probably ask more questions. What is the best way to reach you?
So our website is FidusFiPR.com. That's a great way to get in touch with our office. And then, my direct contact information I'll be able to provide to anybody that reaches out there that's interested with us. But it's FidusFiPR.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.